Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have a used book sale haul for you, which is pretty exciting, so let's just get right into it. So if you've been on my channel for a little while, you know I am kind of obsessed with this particular used book sale. I go every time they have it, and I usually get some really good books. This time I will say I think my haul was a little less exciting because I didn't get there right at the start, even though I technically was, but there was like this huge line to get in, so by the time the line moved so that I was in, people had probably already gone through the romance table, which is kind of annoying. So I actually didn't get a ton of romances, which was sad, but I did get a bunch of other books, so obviously I'm going to talk about those. So the first book I got was The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I was very hesitant to pick this one up because if you have been on my channel again for a long time, you'll know I do not like pretty much any book that is part of Reese's Book Club. Every book that I've read that has been part of that, I have given like 3 stars or less. I never really enjoy them, but I've seen this one around a lot, and I've almost picked it up quite a few times, and I finally decided it was $3. I would just pick it up, and if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I don't. And so I got this one. This is like a thriller, I think. Or maybe more of like a mystery. I believe this is the one where... Oh no, this isn't the one that I thought. So this guy disappears, but he leaves a note for his wife, protect her. And I guess that's what happens. I really apparently know nothing about this one. I'm getting this confused with something else I think that I got. But I've heard some like decent things about this one, so I will definitely give it a shot and see if I end up liking it. Next, I got Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This was another one that I have seen sort of around everywhere and just never picked up. This is like a hostage situation type book, which sounds really interesting. I've never read anything like that before. You can obviously tell, like, because the romance was picked over, I was definitely like sort of just checking out other genres and picking up books that I've seen that were really popular in them. So this was another one of those. With it being like the fall sort of spooky season, I've been sort of wanting to read more like thrillers, mystery type things, so I thought these would be good books to check out. Next is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Again, another Reese's Book Club pick, which I'm not super thrilled about. But this book actually is sort of interesting because I remember reading the synopsis for this, and I wasn't a huge fan. Like, I didn't think I was going to like this, but I saw the trailer for the TV show or the movie or whatever they're making of this, and it looked really good. And so I'm like, maybe I would like the book. And so this was just something totally different. This takes place in the Outer Banks, which is kind of cool. I bought this one specifically because I've been wanting to buy this, but I didn't want the movie copy or the TV show copy, whatever it is, that is out, and this is obviously the original copy. This also, all of these were $3. A couple were $2. I'll tell you which ones those were. So I picked this up. They had quite a few copies of these actually, or of this book, and so I got this one. And then I got this book, which I kind of went back and forth on getting because I've seen this one on Book Outlet a lot. It's Songs from the Deep by Kelly Powell. I love like sirens, mermaids, pirates, like all of the water-based like fantasy books are sort of my favorites. And so I picked this one up. Mostly what really sold me on it was it does have like a signed like bookplate in it, and I was like, okay, if I buy this on Book Outlet, like I'm not gonna get that, and it was only $3. So I was like, I guess now is like as good a time as any to pick this one up. Don't know anything about this one other than obviously it's got something to do with like sirens, so that's really all I needed to know to purchase this. So I got that one. I really love the cover on that one as well. Next I got this book, which I actually already own. This is The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. You can see up on the far side of this shelf, that like first red book is this book. And I just really love these covers better than the ones I have. I have like the new sort of like paperback versions, and these are just like so much nicer. I wish they had the whole series, but I only found this one, so I figure I'll just keep an eye out. Maybe I'll find the other two. And this is Rick Riordan's like Egyptian mythology series, which is kind of interesting because obviously Percy Jackson was Greek mythology. This also was $3. And so I figured, what the heck, I'll pick it up because I do really love the cover of this, and it's like a hardback, so I figured I'd add that to my collection. This next book was sort of odd because I don't know who donated this, but I think they had a lot of them. So this is Lost in a Book by Jennifer Donnelly, which is like a Beauty and the Beast story, which I thought was interesting. Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite Disney movies, and so I just picked this up thinking, you know, it's going to be about her. It has to do with Belle being in the Beast library and getting sort of sucked into this story, and I thought that sounded kind of interesting. But like I said, this one was weird because this seems like brand new to me. Like, this smells like a new book, it looks like a new book, like it's not, like no one has even read this before. But when I went to the sale twice, the first day and the last day, and I got this on the first day, and they only had this one copy, and I was like, okay, I want this, and I bought it. But when I went back on the last day, they had like 4 or 5 copies of this, all that were like brand new, and I just feel like this isn't a popular enough book that there should have been 4 or 5 brand new copies of it. Like, it's not Harry Potter or the Hunger Games or anything like that, so I thought that was sort of interesting. So I don't know if these were like some sort of sample copies that someone got or something, I have no clue, but they are in like perfect condition, so that was exciting. I pretty much pick up anything that's like Disney that's like a little bit older than obviously like kids books. Next I got this series, which I've actually never heard of, or maybe I have somewhere, but this is, I don't even know what this is called. I have no idea. But these are some sort of werewolf, like YA series, which I thought would be interesting. I haven't read very many werewolf romances, and so this is Forever by Maggie Steffader, and then we have Shiver and Linger, and these are kind of cool because, I'll show you the red one. The book font is actually in the color of the book, so like this one's in red, and then obviously like this one's printed in blue and the other one's printed in green, which I thought was really interesting. So I got these 3. Like I said, I haven't heard of these much. I believe I may have seen like a photo of them here or there at some point, but I picked these up. They're really pretty and they sound pretty interesting, so I figured I'd give them a shot for $3 each. I was like, what the heck. And then I got to this book, again with the Disney sort of references. This is Tales from the Haunted Mansion, Volume 1, The Fearsome Foursome, as told by mansion librarian Amicus Arcane. This is obviously like based on the ride at Disney World or Disneyland, the Haunted Mansion. This was $2, and this is just like a really short little book, but there are like these pictures in it of stuff, which I thought was kind of interesting. And so I picked this up because, again, I always pick up anything that's like Disney that's a little bit older. And so I got that one, was really excited to find that. Then this is probably maybe the only romance book I actually got other than like this Wolf series, and that is Not the Witch You Wed by April Asher. I actually just read this one right before I bought it, and I didn't love it. I gave it 3.5 stars, I think, but I think I might like it more if I read it again and actually like paid more attention, because this had a lot of sort of like witchy laws and things that you had to follow, and I was just getting lost and all that. But I think if maybe I actually read like the paperback copy, I might pay more attention than the audiobook. And I just like having books like these around for like Halloween time when I want to read something like this. So again, $3, I picked this up. Like I said, this was the only romance book I got, and I didn't even find this one on the table. It was like in a box under the table where they were keeping like the extra books, which is kind of sad because their romance selection was just really lackluster this time, which was very upsetting. But I got this one, so I was like, okay, at least I got one. Then I got Pretty Little Secrets, a Pretty Little Liars collection by Sarah Shepard. This is like, I think, a collection of like short stories, I guess, from Pretty Little Liars series. I have been collecting all of these books for a while now. This was another one that was only $2, so I figured I would pick it up. And yeah, this is just like one of the last ones that I was missing from the series, and so I got that one. Someday I'm going to read all of those. Maybe I'll do a video on it. I don't know. Then I got Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is another sort of series that I've been trying to slowly collect through used book sales, because I feel like these should be at a lot of used book sales because everybody had these, and I feel like they're sort of past their peak now. And they seem to be still hard to find though. Like, they had this one, and then they had 2 copies of Clockwork Angel, and I think that was it, and I already had Clockwork Angel, so I just got this one. The spine on this one is like really creased, but I'm pretending that that's not the case because it was only $3, so I was like, what the heck. So got this one, which I'm excited about because obviously my collection is getting bigger and eventually I will be able to read it. And then this is the last book I got on the first day. This is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is Lux Beginnings, which is the first 2 books in the Lux series, I guess. So this is Obsidian and Onyx. It's like a bind up. I already owned Obsidian, but I didn't have Onyx, so I just bought this because all the other ones I have are in these bind ups, so I figured I'll just get rid of the one-off single book that I have and have my collection be these books. These, I believe, are like alien romances, but they're like YA, I think, or like maybe like new adult. I'm not really sure. I want to say they're YA though, because I think this was like Jennifer L. Armentrout's like earlier books, but I figured I want to check these out at some point, so I got this one. Like I said, it was only $2. I picked that one up. Then I went on the last day of the sale, and this particular sale on the last day, they always have half price of everything because they're trying to clear it out to raise more money. And so I went back and found only 3 books, which was kind of sad, and it wasn't even like I was being super picky. I just literally didn't recognize the title of any of the other books that were there. And so I got Silence by Becca Fitzpatrick. This is the 3rd book in the Hush Hush saga. So this one is kind of funny because I bought the first book for this series at the first time I went to this book sale. I bought the first book, and then last year I went back again for the second time, and actually it was earlier this year I went back and I bought the second book. And it hasn't been like me doing it on purpose, buying one at a time. They just have only had one at a time. And then this was my 3rd time going to the sale, and they had the 3rd book, so I just thought that was kind of funny that they seem to be putting these books out like every time that I come, the next one is there. And so I got this one. This is like an angel sort of romance, I think. I haven't read any of them because obviously I'm still trying to collect the series. And I guess because it's a saga, that means there is another one that I'm going to need to buy. So maybe next time I go to the book sale, they'll have that one. So I picked this one up. This one is also in like perfect condition, which is nice. And this one was only $1.50 because it was half off everything that day. This next book I didn't even know existed. This is the Originals, The Loss, created by Julie Plec. And this is obviously based on like the Originals show from like the Vampire Diaries. And I thought this was interesting because I did not know that the Originals had their own books. I don't really know who wrote these. It doesn't actually like list an author. It just says created by Julie Plec, who is like the writer for the Vampire Diaries. So I think maybe this is just ghost written and Julie Plec like created the story and someone else just like wrote it. And this is actually book 2, so I'm gonna have to get book 1 and 3 in this series. But I thought that was really interesting. This was only like $1, I think. Yeah, so I only paid $1 for this, so I thought that was really good. And like I said, didn't even know that existed. And this last book is the one I'm most excited about actually, which is like so random because it's like such a random book. But this is Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. I never thought I would read a John Grisham book. I've seen his stuff like at these sales that I go to and just like never been interested in any of it. But this, if you look closely, you may recognize the people on the cover of this. This is the book that Christmas with the Cranks, the movie, is based off of. And that is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. So I didn't even know this book existed. I didn't know it was based on a book. And so I'm like really excited that I found this, and also that it's the movie cover, because I tend to like the movie or the TV show covers if I watch the movie or the TV show first. Like I don't like most of my books to be the movie covers if I'm reading the book before I watch the movie, if that makes sense. So because I've already watched the movie of this and I'm like obsessed with it, I wanted the movie cover. Like if I had known this existed, this would have been the cover I picked. And so I'm just like so excited about this. This was like published in 2001, so it's pretty old, but I'm just so excited that I have this and that it exists because I just am obsessed with that movie. And I might actually do like a reading vlog for this and post it on Christmas this year, because I'm thinking of doing that. I'm sort of playing with that idea right now. But I'm really, really excited about this one. This one was only $1, which I thought was funny because it was like one of the cheapest books, but it was the one I was most excited about. And so that was everything that I got at the used book sale this time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I do new book videos every single week, and I will see you next time.